Roland Mumford with Mumford.law. Does it matter if your lawyer is friends with the judge? I think so. It does. It's a compelling factor. Maybe not as to the ultimate issue in your legal matter, where the judge is going to ultimately conclude, for example, in a divorce case, which party is going to get custody of a child or assets and liabilities, who's going to be awarded what, or in a civil matter, in a tort lawsuit, or who's going to win a certain type of motion to dismiss or such other dispositive motion or summary judgment. But it does matter in certain ways. For example, in my experience, I had to stop practicing divorce law here a year ago for a number of reasons. But one of the reasons is because local judges here in this singular county where I am, they don't like me. It's very clear. And attorneys knew that. And attorneys would take advantage of discovery abuse where they would not provide me all the discovery, where they wouldn't supplement discovery. They would play certain types of games or false objections, and they knew they could get away with it here locally, but not as to the ultimate issue of law on the case. And so it just finally got to the point I'm going to stop practicing divorce law here locally, but also I just simply wanted to stop practicing divorce law and focus on Section 1983 civil rights law and employment discrimination. You know, they say it's not the law that matters, it's knowing the judge. And it is true. I do believe it is true. Particularly in another county here locally, where a couple years ago with a particular judicial election, I knew I was never going to be able to practice in that county. But, 10 years ago here locally with certain judicial elections, I knew that evening I was going to have to relocate and move out of this jurisdiction, but I had to stay because of stepchildren and so forth. And now we're relocating to Savannah, Georgia, though we're going to keep litigating in Arkansas, Tennessee, and in Georgia. So it ultimately matters. And, especially let's say during a trial, somebody might be getting away with certain things and the questions they can ask, maybe in leading. It does matter if you're friends with the judge. They can get away with certain things on maybe minor and trivial matters, maybe certain discovery disputes. But ultimately, I don't believe on the ultimate issue of a case. There's also something called home cooking. Plaintiff's attorneys in personal injury cases all the time see home cooking, where the defense attorney may be located in that jurisdiction and the plaintiff's attorney is from out of that county. And that local judge is going to maybe rule in a certain way on an evidentiary matter. And then the plaintiff's attorney has got to overcome that, go to the Court of Appeals and win on their ultimate issue, and then come back to that lower court. And so, yep, it matters who you hire. Have a great day. Please click like, share, and subscribe.